WU7N, listening to Snapping Fingers.
Node 3159739 connected to Node 564560.
Good evening. This is the Western Washington. Good evening. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. The Western Washington Amateur Television Society, a group of amateur radio enthusiasts that engage in digital amateur television in the DVB-T format. We transmit on 70 centimeters to a crossband repeater on Cougar Mountain and spits out images at 1.2 gigahertz. To find out more about our group, please Google WW7ATS. That's Google WW7ATS. That will take you to our place on the internet. There you'll find the exact frequencies we transmit and receive on, and also a link to YouTube, where we stream our nets held Wednesdays and Saturdays. Also, we simulcast our audio on the 08 machine, which is our 2-meter repeater, WW7ATS, with a frequency of 147.08, with a tone of 103.5. So with that, I'll pause in case anybody has emergency traffic or needs to make a contact before our net gets fully underway. This is Dave, KD7CYM. Well, welcome back to the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. This is Dave, KD7CYM. Signed into the net so far by video is Ron, KD7QKU, Richard, K7ITX in Kent, Wade, W7ITL in Tacoma, Jim, N7QO in Covington, James, WU7N, Northeast Bellevue, Carlos, 87NP in Clyde Hill, and myself, Dave, KD7CYM. Is there anybody else wishing to sign in? Hearing none, again, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. Let's go to Ron, KD7QKU in Tacoma.
Okay, this is Ron, KD7QKU in Tacoma. Looks like we're having some trouble here. I guess it worked just fine before net, but something happened. Anyway, as I said, KD7QKU here in North Tacoma. Good evening to everyone. Well, we had a really nice, I guess, 4th of July. It started here on Thursday. The company here put on a free barbecue for everybody, so we went over there at noontime, 12:30 or something, and they had hamburgers and hot dogs and music. That was good. And then after that, instead of having ice cream, they had shaved ice. Then on Friday night, they had bingo here at where we live in our clubhouse, club room. So we went down there, and I bought 2 cards. They were $2 a piece, and I ended up winning $15, so I came out a little ahead on that. Then on Saturday, we had our Corvette Club was in the parade over at, I can never say the name of the place. Wherever the big mental hospital is, anyway, over there. So, down here. That went pretty good. It was just a local parade, lots of kids and stuff. It was kind of fun to watch. And then after that, we went over to this lady's house, Becky, in the club, and we had a barbecue with those people, and it was a potluck barbecue. Then we left there, and we went out to our friends at Shady Acres Airport. They were having a get-together and a barbecue, so we got there about 5 o'clock and participated with them. Let me let it drop. And then on Sunday, Richard had invited us out to Pacific Raceways in Kenton, so we went out there and saw his car, and it was entered in a race, and we were all watching it run, and it looked good. And then he came around, and his left rear wheel was missing. He broke an axle and lost a wheel. Very lucky, like he said, that he didn't hit the wall and completely, wreck the car. So that was nice to see Richard and Debbie and the car and the race crew and everything and the people. So that was kind of our weekend, and I think I was really pooped out on Sunday night. So back to net, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU, thanks with that. Let's pick up Richard, K7ITX in Kent.
Okay. All right. Well, Ron, to answer your question before we started tonight, I'm sure we have a spare axle, so that's probably going to be the least of our concerns at this point. I think, but it seemed like the car was back to normal after all the problems we had throughout the weekend with the distributor. So anyway, this weekend we're going to be using the called Net MH. Wait a minute, did I say that right? MJ, that's right. Net Anyway, it's racing in Portland. I'm already committed to a picnic, so unfortunately I won't be able to go to Portland as much as I would like. Let's see. But yeah, it was great to have Ron and Joanne doing a little tour of the paddock area, and saw some pretty interesting sights and sounds, including a blown-out engine. Ron pointed out he could see the crankshaft through the blowout, so that was pretty cool. So, as you can imagine, we didn't win. It was pretty hard to. We're just thankful that nobody got hurt. Sadly, though, the race following our event, it seems someone lost their life, and that's one of the unfortunate things about motorsport racing is loss of life is not out of the question. And I guess that's true with any sport. All the sports, there's usually some kind of little bit of danger involved, and some more so than others. And sadly, our weekend didn't escape. Luckily, me and Debbie, Ron and Joanne, we didn't see the accident that happened right after ours. In fact, we did see the ambulance, though, and we kind of wondered what was going on when we saw the ambulance, and now we know. So with that, K7ITX, back to net control.
K7ITX, thanks with that. And for an ID, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. Well, let's go to Wade, W7ITL in Tacoma.
W7ITL. All right, looks like things are working. We're running in kind of reduced capacity tonight. The RF coming into the repeater is really weak, but things are working. I'm not able to get over the internet, so I'm guessing there's some type of rule problem on the firewall because it's denying my key. So I'll have to troubleshoot that later tonight. But RF side's working just fine. Besides that, I've been pretty busy at work and just really tired tonight because I was working on a case for work and can't really talk about it much. Not a lot of things to really say that was bad, but it worked out to be good. So besides that, just enjoying the weather. Been kind of diving into solar power this last couple of days. Got a 100 amp we call it LiFePO 4 battery, and two 100 watt panels, and been generating power for my station. I did some FT8 last night on just all battery power, and that worked pretty good. So that's about all I got for this round, guys. Wasn't able to hear the first couple check-ins because I was troubleshooting things with the repeater. I'll see you guys on the next round. This is W7ITL.
W7ITL, thanks with that. And you did have a good image, and your audio was coming fine on the digital channel as well as a 2-meter channel for audio. And let's go to Jim, N7QO in Covington.
N7QO. Thank you, Dave. Good evening, everyone. Well, Ron, sounds like you have been very busy. Wow, that's great. Barbecue, lunch, bingo, $115. That's hard to beat. Well, okay, I guess it could have been $20, but that's pretty good anyway. I usually lose money. Corvette Club, Shady Acres, and Pacific International Raceway. Yeah, I pooped out. I'll tell you what, that's more fun than I could last through. I just don't have that endurance like I used to anymore. Sounds like you had a lot of fun times there. That's great. Dick, spare axle. Well, yeah, good luck getting that together. Sounds like you had fun, except for the accident there. Yeah, I heard about that on television. They did not have any video, but I heard about the accident. They did not really give any details. They said something about three vehicles collided, and so yeah, that's a tragedy. Broke and ran into another, or what? But anyway, yeah, risks do come with that sport. Wade, I hear you fine on the television repeater. I hear you okay on 2 meters, but weaker. And having said that, my 2-meter reception has not been spectacular since we've interconnected things, actually for some length of time. It runs a little bit hot and cold, but my 2-meter reception could use improvement. And I was wondering if it might be me, but sometimes other people can transmit, and I hear them just fine. So I'm not convinced of that. Maybe some digital artifact somehow out there interfering with that. Let's see. Me. Let's see. I ran a couple of errands today. My wife and I spent more time than I would have wanted to watching some of the entertainment on television for the 4th and for the next couple of days, since they were covering so much. Matter of fact, I think we still have some stuff recorded, which we have yet to watch. It was enjoyable, just a lot of it. They were going for 24 hours, and my fun meter won't let me stay awake for 24 hours to watch all of that. So I guess back to work anyway. Work around the house, that is. Back to you, Dave, N7QO.
N7QO, thanks for that. Let's pick up James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue.
Okay, Dave, thank you. I'm going to give it a minute for everything to cool down and catch up.
WU7N. WU7N. Okay, I got audio. I'm using on the iPhone the app, and I heard my audio on 2 meters, and I can see myself right now on the streaming.wwats.net site. Well, my goodness, let's see. Ron, you seem to have quite a social life. That's great. That's wonderful. Richard, condolences. I take it was not someone you know, but it's still a tragedy when something like that happens. Everybody goes out there to have fun and competition and a good time, and that happens. I'm sorry to hear that. Jim, I think your fun meter just needs to be recharged. That's all. I'm sure you could probably keep up. I wanted to show people something here. I've got. Okay, so this is called a Nano NVA. It's a network vector analyzer, and as you can see, I think this is an older one, and I haven't really definitely determined if this is an original or a knockoff. I guess if I upgrade the software and it turns into a brick, I'll know I got taken. But this is the item that I got just recently from China that I think is very interesting. I'm going to set the phone down here just for a minute. Okay, so what this comes with 2 little cables, and this is really clever. This is kind of a normal connector that we're used to seeing here. But on the other end, they've got little teeny tiny connectors, little itty bitty things. And I think you can see that all right. And you say, what do you use these for? Well, like all vector network analyzers, there's an in and then there's an out. So what you can do is generate a signal that you know what it's doing, send it through some sort of a circuit, and then get back in and then read the difference. And this is kind of a classic analysis in electrical engineering, and of course for that you use a Smith chart. Been so long, I couldn't explain this to you. I got to reread up on all this. But what's interesting about this little board right here is this has surface mount components. Let me see how close I can get and still have it in focus. But little surface mount components that you connect with your little tiny cables to your network vector analyzer. And the surface mount components are certain classic things. Like, for example, this right here, it says BSF at 6.5 megahertz, and I'm going to take that to mean a bandwidth notch filter. Maybe S is N in Chinese, I'm not sure. But right next door to it here, BPF, band pass filter at 10.7 megahertz. So that's what that one right there is. Let me see if that comes into focus. Does that come into focus? Yeah, not bad. So anyway, I no doubt will have tons of fun with this. The components are quite tiny, as you can see, relative to my fingers. And this gives you the answer, so to speak, when you, for example, there's a simple graph of, the bandpass filters, but here's kind of what the Smith chart pattern would look like, what you're kind of going for. Not in focus there, but like there's a simple coil, and that's what you should do, what you should get with one input on the coil. So I anticipate, and then right next door is a capacitor, and I think you get the idea. So there's all kinds of other stuff here, and the trick is going to be to figure out how to set the network vector analyzer, configure it so it's testing what you think it's testing. I mean, you sort of end up with a known that you can work with. The only thing I've used this thing for so far is SWR. So anyway, that's the show and tell for tonight. Wish me luck. I figure this should make it a lot easier because you have a known and you know what it should look like. So you just have to figure out how to get there from here. So Anyway, that's it for me. Let me turn it back to Dave, our net control for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. This is Whiskey Uniform 7 November in Northeast Bellevue. Turning it off now.
WU7N, thanks with that. Let's go to Clyde Hill. Carlos, 87 NP.
All right, let's see if audio flows. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it does. Good evening, everyone. This is 87NP coming to you from Clyde Hill using the streaming. Good copy from everyone. And Ron, you should try again. I don't know exactly. Maybe it was because of the activity before the net, but in fact, what happened is that the system detected that it was a duplicate stream from you. So maybe with all the restarts in the beginning, there was something wrong. And good copy from everyone else. Sorry about the missing axle there on the car. It happens. And especially on racetracks, for sure. On my side, I was trying to, maybe I can do this even with the phone, so let me see if this works as I do the phone. And I pointed my screen, so that's my solar cooker dish now at the roof, and now I'm gonna tell it to be tracking the sun, and hopefully it will move towards the sun. Yep, that's what it's doing. So that's what I've been doing, setting it up with all the receiver. Of course, now I have more devices to be tracking all the different antennas, so that's fun. I've not been able yet to receive proper signals because I was only able to get this going over the weekend, and I think the moon angles are only favorable on Sunday night, so I'll be trying again Sunday night for this. Wade, let's have this back. Wade, your token had expired, so I just sent you another one over direct message on Discord. It expired at the end of June, so you have another one there. But it does seem like something is wrong on the receiver sensitivity, so it's not picking up my signal either. So that's what I have. Oh, and James, that's a pretty good PCB card that you have there. That seems quite interesting. I have the same Nano VNA. In fact, there's two devices. I mean, if you're keen into that type of devices, I have also the Nano VNA, and there's another one which is called the Tiny Spectrum Analyzer, and that it's also quite nice. It has a spectrum analyzer on the frequencies and can detect harmonics on your transmission. It's very similar, kind of similar to what you showed. This is the Tiny SA. It's very portable, so I like sometimes when I'm traveling to take this one, whereas in the bench here I just use the Siglant that I have there on the bench. But those are good devices, and definitely if you can send me the link of the store where you bought that PCB. That sounds interesting. Um, Very good. I'll send it back to Net Control, Dave. And I'll stay here for the next one from AD7NP in Clyde Hill.
87NP, thanks for that. And this is Dave, KD7ZYM in Lake City. I've got 68 degrees and cloudy outside, and I don't seem to be able to get an RF output on 70 centimeters, but audio is coming through fine on 2 meters, and digital audio, as well as I'm getting a digital picture coming in good. So that part is working on RF on receiving. And for me today, it was like a bunch of errands. I had to go to Costco, go to the cleaners, drop off some stuff there. And so it was just kind of like a continual outing of going from place to place, getting things back to normal, you might say. So with that, sorry to hear that Portugal didn't make it in the soccer world, but such is life. But anyway, our thoughts were with Portugal. And, well, the U.S. didn't do too well either. They got I don't know. I don't think they just did. It just sort of wasn't in their favor. And let's see what else I got to say is Ron. Oh, my gosh. With all of that barbecues and food, I imagine you're going to be on a diet for a week. Probably put on 5 pounds just over the weekend. So that's interesting. And Wade got a great picture coming in, so that was no problem at all. And you got audio on both digital as well as 2 meters. And Richard, losing a wheel. As they say, what is it? The wheels on the bus goes round and round, but if you lost a wheel, I guess it goes thump, thump, thump. So anyway, sorry to hear about that, losing an axle. And Jim, N7QO, yes, you were right. There's so many things to watch over the 4th of July. I kind of tuned into it all. But surprisingly, I found the best variety of stuff was on PBS. I thought they had a better show overall. So anyway, that was kind of interesting. And James, boy, can't believe those microcircuits and like it's practically the size of a rice grain that can be so precise. I don't know how the Chinese put that stuff together, but it's very interesting. And Carlos, boy, getting his solar reflector transmitting receive device motorized and tracking, so that's quite an accomplishment. So that's about what's happening here in in Lake City. This is Dave, KD7ZYM. So I'm going to move it back up to Ron. KD.
Okay, KD7QKU here. Well, it looks like I got everything working again. So, sounds like everybody had a pretty good 4th. There was lots of stuff on TV, that's for sure. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see much of it. We got home late. We got home in time to see the fireworks down in, down there by Gasworks Park. I want to say Elliott Bay, but it wasn't that. It's, can't say what it is. And that was probably the best fireworks that I've seen in Seattle in a long, long time. They were really good fireworks. Wade, I was hoping maybe you'd report a little bit on the field day on the ATV. I don't know if you did that on Saturday. Maybe you did, I don't know. But anyway, I didn't hear about it, so I trust it went well. What else is going on? Well, not too much, I guess. Here in the neighborhood, there's an apartment complex not too far away from us, and apparently they're striping their parking lot, and all their cars are parked on the street around here.
and it's just a mess. They've been doing that for almost a week now. It looks like they'd finish up pretty soon. Either they have a big parking lot or they have a poor company doing the striping, because it should only take a day or two, I would think. So, what else is going on? Not too much. We did go over tonight to the dining room and eat. We had dinner over there. You had your choice of turkey, roast turkey, or you could have liver and onions, or you could have had a tuna salad. Well, I chose the roast turkey, and it came with sweet potatoes and salad and vegetables, and then there was a chocolate pudding for dessert. So that was good. Joanne hasn't been feeling really good the last week or so. She's had headaches, so I suggested tonight that we go over there and eat so she wouldn't have to mess with dinner. We hadn't eaten in the dining room for about 4 or 5 days, I don't think. We've been out. And you're right, Dave. I tried my shorts on yesterday and I couldn't hardly button them. I think I put on a few pounds. It seems like every place you go and they barbecue hamburgers, the hamburgers are so big, my gollies. I just need a half a hamburger because they always have so many nice salads, and you want to have some salad. You know, pasta salads and all kind of stuff when it's kind of potluck. It's really good food. So anyway, nice to see everybody and hear what everybody's been up to. And so I'll just turn it back to Dave, KD7QKU. And I got everything working now. I just had to reconnect my iPad, and it seems to be working fine again. Okay, back to Net.
Thank you, Ron. KD7QKU. Let's pick up Richard, K7ITX in Kent.
Okay, well, this is Richard, K7ITX, reporting from the Northwest Kidney Center here, Panther Lake, Kent, Washington. Because of that, I'm only using Echolink, and so that's how it goes. Hopefully Saturday I'll be able to do video and audio both. So anyway, let's see, I was going to comment on, Ron's schedule. Jeez, holy moly. Except I probably did pretty good. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, each morning I was at the track by 6:45 a.m. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, each day. And part of the reason was to be able to save parking spots for the race car driver and that sort of thing. So I was able to do some good. And usually it's not very helpful. And and I will have to report a pit lizard. This pit lizard was there on Saturday, but not Sunday, and it's not. It wasn't Shirley. It was a brand new pit lizard that I'd never even heard of before. So it was pretty cool. Or was it? Yeah, I guess it was Saturday. Yeah. Yeah, let's see. What else? There was something else on. Pippa dog. rat terrier, she didn't like the fireworks so much. In fact, as far as she was concerned, we could do just fine without it. And so she did go out into the backyard for a potty break, but she wasn't too keen on that idea as well. So anyway, Ron, I'm glad you saw fireworks where you were at. Of course, even though it's illegal in Kent, I still do happen to see quite a bit in our neighborhood. So anyway, it's great to see and hear everybody tonight. And with that, I'm going to say K7ITX, back to net control.
K7ITX, thanks for that. Get a quick ID here again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. Let's go back to Tacoma to Wade, W7ITL. 7ITL. 7ITL. 7ITL.
All right, guys, this is part of the stream that I recorded for the field day operations for the W7DK Club. You can see this is from the tent. We got a couple of folks in field here. We were having problems getting the stream into the repeater. I wasn't able to get into it until about 3/4 way through the net. So that's that. Let me show you some pictures. We'll just kind of go through the different. Let's see if I can find another snippet of the video. That's all the video I got. If you guys want to see it again, I'll play it again. But let's just go back to this is the go to. Hill. Setup. What I've been. This is not my vehicle. This is got the big tent there. We set this because we were having rain that day. That's the full setup. So I'll pivot over to some of the other pictures that I had that I wanted to show off. Yeah, I know I'm in and out. I'll increase my video power. Maybe that'll make it a little better. We're having problems. Let's see if that'll make any difference. I'll just go ahead and narrate over. Not that great over the video since the video is so spotty tonight. So this is
my smart
over
solar
the video
controller,
since the
showing
video
the power
so,
output I was getting from
spotty
my
tonight. So this is
my panels.
my
I've
smart
been getting
solar controller.
about
I'm showing
160
the
to
power output I
180
was getting from my
watts. I recently just
my
moved the panels
panels.
to the roof
I've been
yesterday.
getting about 160 to
But
180.
yeah, that's the 2 panels. And then
The roof
to show
yesterday.
off the other project I've been working on. Let's see if that'll come in. Let's wait a second.
And then to show off the other
Okay.
project I've been working on. Let's see if that'll come in.
So this is the RTCM.
second.
It's the analog
Okay.
to digital part of our repeater for the 2 meter.
So
I'm
this is
replacing the boards and building new
it's
boards for the
analog to digital part of our repeater
analog
for
to
the 2
digital
meter. I'm
and
replacing the boards and building new
receiver
boards for
transmitter pairing.
the
It's
the analog
here's
to
the board
digital,
before I start working on
and,
it.
Receiver
Here's all the
transmitter
parts.
pairing. It's here's the board before I
As they
started
come in,
working on
I'll
it.
switch to the next picture.
Here's all the parts.
That's all the parts that I had to put together. I'm still working on it. A little close up of the boards. I'm working on 2 of them.
That's all the parts that I had to put together. I'm still working on it.
Wait for the
A
pictures
little
to
close
come
up of the
in.
boards. I'm working on.
And then here's kind of some close-ups of the different parts of the board that I've been building.
Come in. And then here's kind of some close-ups of the different parts of the board that I've been building.
And that's pretty much it. I'm about halfway through building the boards. I just got done doing most of the.
And
I got all the
that's pretty much
capacitors
it.
installed on the board, and I got
I'm
about
about
50%
halfway
of the
through building the boards. I
resistors
just got
installed,
done
and
doing
then I
most
have
of the. I
oven
got all the
controlled
capacitors
oscillators
installed on
and
the board,
GPS
and I got
modules
about 50% of the
and
resistors
connectors
installed,
and all
then I
sorts
have
of things to get
oven
put
controlled
together. And
oscillators and
I'll share the
GPS
pictures before I put it
modules
up on the mountain.
and
I got to test it here
connectors and all
in my
sorts
lab
of things to get
before I get
put together. And
I finish it.
I'll share the pictures before I put it up on the mountain.
That's pretty much it, guys.
Before I get
the video's a little out of focus tonight.
a little out of focus tonight.
Yeah, it's a little out of focus. Apologize for that.
The video's a little
that's all
out
I
of
got
focus
for
tonight.
this round. So I will say 73 for this round, and maybe if we have
that's all
time,
I got
I'll
for this
talk
round.
more about what I've been working on.
I will
I
say
think that's about all I got though
73
for this round.
and
W7ICL back to net
if you
control.
have time, I'll talk more about.
W7ITL, thanks for that. Let's go to Covington to Jim, N7QO.
N7QO. Thank you, Dave. Let's see. Jim, yeah, that Nano VNA looks pretty cool. It's interesting that they gave that little board. That's useful information. That's a little teaching tool, but you can use it to help analyze some of the displays which you get. I think that's great. Without seeing whether or not it works, I'd say you got your money's worth out of that. Carlos, solar cooker dish. That looks really cool. I'm impressed with that. I hope you have a lot of fun with that. Sounds like you'll be trying the moon bounce Sunday night. Hope that works out well for you. Yeah, that tiny SA. I've been threatening for several years to buy one of those. They used to have a smaller one. I think what you were showing is the slightly bigger one. I waited long enough to decide to buy it that I decided I was going to buy the one which is slightly larger, but I still haven't spent the money. It's not like I have enough time to put into this hobby what I really want to anymore. Since the wife retired, that's occupying a lot of my time. Let's see, Dave, 68 degrees there. Yeah, I've got 71 degrees here. You mentioned some good shows on public broadcast service. Yeah, my wife and I watched some of those as well, and we were impressed with that. Ron, hope Joanne feels better. Maybe she's partied out, just needs a couple days of downtime. Anymore, that's kind of the way I feel. I can go for a couple days. Bellevue Gym there, I can go for a couple days, but then I need a couple days of downtime. I don't know why the old body just doesn't have the gas that it used to. Although my wife might say I got lots of gas, I don't know. Ron, Gasworks Park, yes. My wife and I watched that on television, and we were impressed. I have not seen anything like that, videos from Gasworks Park ever, although I've only been here for like 25 years. But we were impressed. That was a good show that they did. And going out, partying and all that, lots of food. Yeah, that's just kind of the way it works. And there are so many delicious things, you kind of can't help but eat them. Funny you were mentioning that. I saw, while you were saying that, I was thinking, I saw on television a number of people from foreign countries coming here to observe the soccer tournaments, and the reporters were showing videos of these people trying just all kinds of stuff. They were loving hamburgers. They were loving hot dogs. They were discussing some of the bars. There was a bar somewhere. They drank all the beer at the bar. I think that was in Boston, but I'm not sure. And where else did they say? Oh, they said something about Waffle House was really good. I don't know. And they were impressed with some of the shopping here, like Walmart. It's like walls and walls of all kinds of things. I'm glad that a number of folks had a really good time here. I'm glad nothing major went wrong, and no disasters. And Ron, thanks for mentioning Pippa. And Wade, thanks for the pictures. I got a little bit of an echo on your audio, but I caught everything just fine. Looks pretty cool. Looks like you're definitely going to spend a few hours with that project there, but it should be fun. That's good, and hope it all goes smoothly. Back to you, Dave, N7QO.
N7QO, thanks with that, and time for another ID. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. On the 08 machine, I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Let's go to Northeast Bellevue to James, WU7N.
Thank you. Let me go ahead and see if I can get a video picture. I had good luck last time.
WU.
Stand by. I'm going to go and reboot.
Okay, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue. WU7N. All right, I can hear myself on 2 meters there. Thanks for patience, everyone. This iPhone application is amazing. Big thanks to Carlos for making it. I can find every once in a while I have to, probably because of all the idiosyncrasies of my network here, I have to routinely sometimes just turn the whole thing off and turn it on again. A couple comments on what you use a network vector analyzer for. First off, Carlos, yes, I have the VNA now. I have this box here. Let me see if I can get a picture up. So this one is a GPS discipline frequency counter. I've had very good luck with it so far. And it seems rather mundane on the screen, but I'm using the tiny frequency counter that's disciplined by the GPS to try and see if I can ever get this to work. I'm coming around to the idea that there just might be independent components in a box here: a GPS receiver, one of these, which is a 10 megahertz temperature controlled oscillator. Theoretically, this box is supposed to discipline the oscillator so that it will synchronize exactly with the GPS constellation. I'm not sure it's really doing that, but I've learned how to use the statistical functions on this, so I should be able to figure that out by the end of the weekend and find out if I bought I think this was like $7 or $8, something like that. I paid $71 for this one here. We'll see if I got took or not. So I also got the spectrum analyzer, but I haven't even had a chance to hardly use it. I unboxed it to make sure it would work right or not, at least if it would boot up. And I didn't really do my homework. I found out that you really have to be careful where you buy these things, because it's almost like the snake eating its own tail. I think the designer for this lives somewhere in Denmark or something. Open source design and code and everything. And then I think he has them manufactured in China, where people make knockoffs. But if you got the knockoff or the real thing, when you try and update the software, if it turns into a brick, then you got a knockoff. So it's kind of funny that in China they're still having a problem with counterfeits. So I haven't tried to upgrade software on any of my 3 boxes. I'll let you know if they turn into a brick or not. A practical use for a network vector analyzer, I bought these little attenuators. This is a 10 dB attenuator, and actually the reason I got this is one disadvantage of the tiny frequency counter and also the spectrum analyzer. They're not nearly as robust as the kind of lab equipment I'm used to using, and they do warn you about that. There's a whole special page, essentially how not to blow up your TINY devices, and they suggest copious use of attenuators. So what you could do with this, the network vector analyzer, is send out a signal, feed it through this attenuator, and then back into the network vector analyzer to see if it really is 10 dB or not. I ordered a whole pile of these things, and it wasn't a confidence builder that they were all in the wrong bags. Maybe somebody was just checking to make sure I got what I ordered or something, but they didn't get them into the right bags. So the little fine print up here is not 10 dB. So anyway, I've got to test these before I take too many more risks. But the other thing that I got, don't anybody buy any fuses. It was cheaper for me to buy this entire huge box of fuses, than it was to buy locally just the fuse I needed. So I think I have something like 150 6mm by 30mm fuses. And same story on small signal transistors. I think I paid a couple bucks and now have 200 small signal transistors of various kinds. Also got quite a deal on 10 op amps. I paid a whole $1 for 10. Wow, prices are really going up. So anyway, it's been fun. Don't know how long all this is going to last. I've been reading about the Japanese bond problems and financial market problems. We should all enjoy everything while it's here. So I see it's a couple minutes till. Let's turn it back to Dave, our net controller for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. This net meets 8 p.m. Pacific Time, West Coast USA, on Wednesdays and on Saturdays. So, Dave, I'm going to turn it back to you, hitting the big off switch right now.
Okay, it seems to be working. 87 NP back on the air. It's great to see all those devices, James. And yeah, Wade, your streaming definitely working fine again. So that's great. And thank you also for the link, James. I ordered that little board. They charged me $6. But you're right. I mean, if I go and refresh the link now, I mean, they charged me $5.48, and then plus something they call taxes, it ended up on $6.04. But if I go there now to the link, it says 7 point something dollars. So it keeps changing as you go there. That's very good. I have some of those devices also, the GPS DO, and in terms of projects, and Wade, that was quite impressive. You definitely have a lot of components to put together there. The other device that I'm building is my 10 gigahertz beacon that I basically get this, maybe I can show this, let me see. Let's do like James. This is a power supply that then I 3D print the case. And fortunately, these days, these cases, you can 3D print, and they're an exact match to the Minwell power supply. And so it just looks great. But if I go here to the other side, this is the 10 gigahertz beacon. This is not as pretty board as Wade has there. It's all a lot of improvisation. But this is kind of a 4-watt 10 gigahertz board. And so this will all go into this box so that they can put it out there. And interesting that you mentioned that when you buy in many boxes, this is where you end up, you know. It's kind of many of the components, many of the different screws, and funny enough, you know, next time that you need something, you need to buy some more. The same on fuses and all that. So always a challenge to manage inventory. Very good. Good night, everyone. It's great to see you all here at the net. And Wade, let me know if you need some help on figuring out the receiver portion there. Quite flexible throughout the week, so we can arrange for something. Good evening, everyone, from 87 NP in Clyde Hill.
NP, thanks for that. And this has been the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, broadcasting in digital amateur television in the DVB-T format. So with that, I'll conclude this net This is Dave, KD7CYM, terminating the net at 9:02. Good evening, all.
Node 3159739 disconnected.